Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of Brew Stories with me, Rich.
Indeed.
Hey, Dean, have you ever thought about getting out of this place?
Yes, I have.
In the country, maybe?
The countryside, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly where to go. Allendale.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, see ya.
Yeah, here we are.
That's right, we've come out from Newcastle, we've come up into Northumberland, we've come to the countryside, we've come to Allendale Brewery.
Yeah, and we're going to go inside and meet the brewers, Rick and Ricky. So, come on, Dean. So how much beer do you brew in an average week?
About 80 barrel, so we're a 20 barrel plant, so that's 4 brews a week, and each brews about 3,500 litres.
What is your biggest selling beer?
Probably the Golden Plover, or 4% blonde, quickly followed by Pennine Pale, which is incredibly popular also.
Why do you think that is?
It's an amazing all-round general beer.
In an ideal world, is there anybody you'd like to collaborate with?
Yeah,
Almasty,
good.
we've got some good gear going out.
Everybody wants to brew with Almasty.
I'd like to do Wylam. Well, you know, the two rivals. Have a little collaboration, it'd be good to see.
Oh, that'd be great, yeah.
Be interesting.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Or rather, I'd like to taste that.
Cheers to you. Yeah.
What influences your choice of hop?
I usually go for the most expensive. It's shunned upon sometimes.
We get a reasonable amount of information from the hop merchants, and there's a sort of profile, you know, it might say citrus or lime or whatever, so we'll get some and have a look.
Right.
You know, it's the proof is in the testing. You know,
What's your favourite one to use?
probably Galaxy, probably.
Yeah.
I reckon Australian Galaxy, big mango and passion fruit.
So we know you have a gluten-free beer. What are the challenges in brewing a gluten-free beer compared to an ordinary beer?
We use an enzyme which
Right.
degrades a lot of the proteins, and that basically gets rid of the gluten. So pretty much like every other beer we do. So
there's no specific process you have to follow?
No, not at this
weird,
stage.
isn't it?
Yeah, as we put it in the fermenter, we put the enzyme in, and that, like I said, degrades the proteins and the gluten.
Right.
And we send it away for testing, and every time it's come back less than 10 parts per million, I think.
Try and be careful towards the end, like you said, with the casking up. Try and do all the gluten-free first, so then there's no risk of contamination.
Yeah. Thanks to Rick and Ricky for answering those questions. There's some very good answers.
There were,
some
yeah.
interesting ones. We're now going to go upstairs and talk to Neil.
Yeah. Can you give me a brief history of the Allendale Brewery?
Yeah, it was set up approximately 12-13 years ago by Tom and his dad. They were looking to set up a business together. Tom wasn't exactly sure what he wanted to do, but obviously enjoyed homebrewing and got into it that way, you know. So they saw an opportunity in the area. This building was derelict. It was just down the road from where they lived at the time, so it was nice to sort of regenerate the building as well.
There's been a huge shift to sort of craft, or using the word craft brewery.
Yeah.
How would you define Allendale?
That's a difficult one. I mean, we always used to. I mean, when we started, craft was probably a byword. It was big in the States, but it wasn't really used over here. We were a microbrewery, and the microbreweries were the things, you know, that was small, independent. For me, like if I was to think about it, I would want it to mean small, independent, not driven by, you know, accounting or anything. You know, it's more about the products, and I think that's what people want to get when they're buying craft.
We know you're selling in supermarkets now, senior beer in supermarkets. Have you had to change the way you brew, particularly to meet that demand, or have you had any challenges based on that?
We have. I mean, the main challenge for us has been that obviously the standards that supermarkets will hold you to are much higher,
Right.
And we've had a lot of hoops to jump through, and obviously audits and things, but really that's a good thing, because what that's done is it's forced us to look at our process and improve the quality of the product essentially. So it has that kind of knock on for all the beers, so not just the beers that we're supplying to them. It's brewing as a whole.
You know about a large selection of beers, and you've now got your new canned range. Can you tell us about the decision behind that?
We obviously we wanted to start doing beers in cans. I mean, we wanted to see, is it a better way for the beer to be delivered? It's lighter, there's less waste as well. So they're both positive. things. And we've got this new design which is kind of consistent through all of them now.
Nice.
And we're only trying to put, sort of maybe more hop forward and more interesting beers into the cans as well, because I think that's probably what people expect with a can beer now,
So do you think that the way these cans look has an impact on who buys it and how big that market is?
Yeah, branding's massive now. I mean, it really is. I think when we started out, we've had a couple of branding changes over the years, but it's so important now.
Yeah.
It really is for people to make that first decision to pick your beer up and try it, and then hopefully they'll like the beer inside, and then that's what keeps them buying it,
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. I mean, there's so much choice now, and it is really important to kind of stand out and have an identity.
And what is the best and the worst thing about owning a brewery?
Best thing is being able to produce something. I like that we make something that's real. I mean, we're not saving lives, but we make something that people enjoy, and that's nice. And to work with your hands and to use natural ingredients and things, and to see people enjoying your beer is fantastic. I mean, that is really, really good. Worst thing is probably it is never off my mind.
Right.
From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, I'm thinking about it.
Beer can be seen as a bit of a lads club. How can we encourage more women to get into beer and brewing?
I mean, I don't see it that way, but we're kind of. I think the industry's definitely changing. I think it's becoming more inclusive. As I say, when we first started out, it was a very traditional market, and probably our target audience were kind of middle-aged men. Really, they were the kind of people who drank real ale, as it was then. I think the industry as a whole is much more inclusive. I don't think doing anything that's kind of like directly targeted at women's a very good idea, because the idea is that it's inclusive for everyone. It doesn't need to be segregated in that way. I know there are a lot of women inside the brewing industry, and I think it's maybe just championing them. And I mean, there's a good mix of guys and women working here as well, and so they're all important to the industry. So.
I think branding up stuff. We've seen a lot of sort of sexist labels recently, and sort of filtering out that is a step forward.
It is, and I think again when we started, that was pretty much part of the course, and you would see that a lot in a lot of places. It's obviously there on social media, but they're really held to account there. But as a whole, mostly it's getting stamped out. So which is can only be a good thing.
So finally, what can we expect next from Allendale Brewery?
That's a good question. We're brewing new beers all the time. They're generally we like to try different ingredients and maybe different brewing styles and stuff as well. I'd like to do barrel aging, but I've been saying that for years. We've kind of dipped in with things like sours and stuff as well, which I'd like to have a look at. Mixed fermentation would be really interesting to look at. Again, it's just the time to kind of try these things,
to get them done.
Will you be expanding the can range? Maybe.
I mean, we've got the core sort of cans that we have, but we're looking to do specials all the time.
Well, thanks to Allendale. That was great day.
It has. It's been a fantastic day. We've learned a lot. People here have been really helpful. They've talked us through the process of making beer, the process of selling beer. They've answered all our questions. They've been really, really good. It's been fantastic.
Because after all, we do this.
We do this
for the love of beer.
Yeah. Right,
So,
Rich.
how do we get home?
Well, I don't know how you're getting home.
Yeah.
I'm heading that way. I'll see you soon.
But Dean, have you paid for these? Dean!